Good morning. Welcome into Bite and Early, powered by Bite Size Sports on this lovely Friday morning, 7 a.m. every Friday morning. This has been a pretty fun show to run this summer. The College World Series, it's been invigorating this week. Really, really fun games. A good one last night. Really some big-time games back in the early weekend, last weekend, to start the tournament there in Omaha. So we're going to talk through a little bit of that today. The NBA draft was last night. Quite frankly, I don't know, like NBA draft, College World Series, what the hell is there even to talk about in sports these days? I miss football. It's the worst time in sports. We're really in the dead of the summertime. We got the Travelers Championship in golf, and we got 3 more days of the College World Series. The NBA draft is behind us at this point. You're not really in the signing and training mode of NFL. It's just OTAs and training camp. It's just like the dead of the summer. Unless you're just a huge MLB guy and just loving baseball, there's just not a lot to talk about. But we are here still, and we will still find something to talk about. NBA draft recap. Rory hits a hole-in-one in round 1 of the Travelers. Keegan Bradley hits maybe like the farthest putt I've ever actually seen hit. It was crazy, over 70 foot. College World Series, and LSU is not only winning on the field, but off the field as well, as their fans are absolutely taking over Omaha. So we will definitely touch on that today. Thank you for being here. Please hit that like button. Subscribe to the Bite Size YouTube channel. We've got a goal, 750 subscribers before the NFL season kicks off, before that Thursday night game of the Chiefs versus the Lions. Guys, we got live shows multiple nights a week. Plenty of fun, and we cover a variety of sports at Bite Size Sports. Necessary Roughness goes Tuesday nights. We had an ADP, our fantasy football show, on Wednesday night. The Bounce, they went live last night. We'll talk about that a little bit today as they recapped and gave live reaction to the NBA draft. Biting early, late night bites, just talking all. I know Kev's got like slam ball queued up to talk slam ball when it comes around. So just, you need to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification so you are notified every time we are live over at Bite Size Sports. We're still looking for a betting show to come on, trying to get a Monday night show going. So there's still plenty to come by the NFL season. If you are here watching, I can see that although we've got a lot of good listeners, great listeners, loyal listeners, only about 30% of the people watching our shows on Bite Size Sports are actually subscribed. So if you are one of these people who are not subscribed, it costs you nothing. It takes no effort. Just hit that subscribe button. Support us here at Bite Size Sports as we try to continue to grow this sports network, and we have a lot of fun doing it as well. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Welcome in. If you're in the chat, jump on in. Good morning. Thanks for being here. Send in your hot takes. You know, we still got some NFL players who are unsigned, and Zeke and Fournette and Dalvin Cook, DeAndre Hopkins. Not necessarily something I plan to get into, but if we want to talk some NFL, let's talk to some NFL, right? I do a lot of best ball stuff. I'm 24 best ball drafts deep right now. I have a ton of George Kittle, apparently. So I love where he's being drafted. So we can talk that. You guys just let me know in the chat what you want to talk about, and we'll do it today. This is like this could be a Sadie's Hawkins dance style of show. You tell me where you want to go, and we can go that direction. But I will start with the NBA draft. Last night, obviously it was really long if you were following. Terribly long. And first and foremost, I just want to shout out the boys at the Bounce. Kev and James, they were live during the first round, giving their reactions, letting giving their predictions. I think I saw James tweet out that he was 6 of the top 10 or something like that. So They know their basketball over there at the Bounce, and then Nate and John had joined them early in the draft as well. It's really worth the watch, especially if you're an NBA fan. Go back, watch the Bounce from last night, get their reactions, get their analysis of these ball players. Victor, man, I'm never gonna be able to say this guy's name right. Wembanyama, right? He goes number 1 out of France. No surprise here. Everybody expected this to happen, and it goes that way. Brandon Miller goes number 2. He's the only college basketball player, the only guy that went to the NCAA to be drafted in the top 5. And for me, when I'm thinking about the NBA draft and I'm watching it and I'm listening to the Bounce and I'm just reading the things I'm reading, like this was the biggest takeaway for me from this year's NBA draft. We've always had international players, right? Kristaps Porzingis, Yao Ming, Luka Doncic. Like we've always had all of these international players are not uncommon for the NBA to draft at a high level, right? But now we've got players such as the Thompson twins and Scoot Henderson foregoing college and to play in the G League or private leagues or whatever leagues these guys are, well, wherever the overtime elite is. And, I think somebody said one of them was a G League and one of them was a different, I don't know. They're foregoing college. And that's annoying to me. Like these guys are great talents. I want to see them on the college stage playing for a national championship. I don't even care what team they go to. Just I want them to see the best talent in the world at the college level, and that's not happening. They're not going. They're just saying no. And I get it. I'm not saying we have to force them to college. That we don't want to do that. They should be able to go wherever they want to go. But I do think that we're starting to see this even more and more. And these very high level talented basketball players. I mean, the Balls did the same thing, right? Didn't one of them just go overseas for a year? I think this is going to kill college basketball over time. Not this year, not next year, but over time. If this continues down this route, I think it is going to kill college basketball. Maybe they're getting paid more to go play at these other places, But why aren't they choosing to go to college? For 1 year, you get a college experience, you go play ball, and you have a chance to win a national championship. What is it just because of the education piece? Like, if I go and play in the G League, then I don't have to worry about going to class? Maybe. Some of these big schools have plenty of money to offer, though. And so it's hard for me to think it's just strictly a money thing at this point, especially with the NIL with college. It doesn't feel like it's a money thing. It feels like maybe they feel like they can get better training, but I don't know. These coaches are the best of the best in the world still. These schools are bringing in and pouring in the money to have the best facilities they can have and the best training staff they can have. So I don't know. I just don't know the answer. It's just really, to me, it's frustrating because if Scoot Henderson and Amin and Isaiah Thompson are as good as they are supposed to be, they're top 5 picks. To see those guys in college uniforms last year playing for national championships would have been a lot of fun. And I think that we're going to start to see over time, right? What does this look like? How does a Brandon Miller's career project versus Scoot Henderson? Pick 2, pick 3. One goes to college, one goes to some academy. I don't even remember what it was called, right? How do their careers project? And I know that you can't just say, well, yeah, Brandon Miller did great, so clearly got to go to college. But over time, we might be able to start to see some of these trends. Are they being better coming out of college or going into a G League, private league, whatever it is? And do people start to weigh those options even heavier because of this? What are your thoughts? Do you think they should go to college at all? Do you care if they go to college? Let me know in the chat. Like, I think that's my problem. Like, I care. I want them to be in the NCAA. I want them to go to college. But do you guys care? Do you care if these top elite athletes, these elite basketball players, go to college? Or is this just something I'm rambling about for no reason? Is this just something I'm just rambling about and like, Trevor, it doesn't matter. And maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe it doesn't matter to you guys. I just feel like I would have loved to see these guys in. Golly. Tyler says, what do you think about Grady Dick's Wizard of Oz suit? I'm going to pull that up real fast. This thing is wild. That's just gross. It looks stupid. First of all, show me the chain. If you're going to wear the chain, show me the chain. Get that thing out there. Maybe if you put a black turtleneck underneath the red suit, but it just looks like a red turtleneck suit. Like, you don't really see the suit part too much. It kind of looks like the turtleneck and the suit are all the kind of the same clothing item. So maybe if you give me a black turtleneck underneath this suit, maybe I like it a little bit more. But nah, don't hit me with this glitter and glamour. No, thank you. This thing is gross. It's not a good look, guys. You would think these guys would pay somebody for their fashion. Maybe he did. He should fire them. He should fire them. Do you think it's a competition thing? I mean, on one hand, you could say it's potentially a competition thing, but even then, it was only 3 or 4 of these guys who were drafted. Everybody after that was from the NCAA, right? It was just the top elite athletes were not. So that's where it's like maybe, but there's still plenty of competition. Now, it's not every night, right? KU is not playing high competition every night of the week when they get their Emporia States of the world and these kind of one-off games that don't really mean anything. But when you get into league play in these leagues, the SEC and the ACC and the Big 12, Big 10, like these high-powered leagues and conferences and these high-powered schools, like there's a lot of competition there in the college level still. All right, let's talk a little bit about a couple other picks here. Who was your most surprising pick from last night? Maybe a favorite pick. Did you watch the NBA draft? Did you follow it all? If so, who was your favorite pick? Who was your most surprising pick? I want to talk through, 3 guys, obviously, that I feel like I need to mention. 2 of them because obviously I'm a big Duke fan. Everybody knows that. That is no surprise. My boy Derek Lively, who broke the Duke record for most blocks in a season, he went 12th to the OKC Thunder. So I thought maybe he would find himself in the top 10. He does not. Goes to 12 to OKC. His college teammate, Derek Whitehead, went 22nd to the New Jersey Nets as the Nets picked back-to-back to take Clowney and Whitehead. Shooting guard there for the Nets. So that'll be fun to watch and follow his career. I feel obligated because I live in Kansas City and half the people watching this are KU fans. And Grady Dick, the glamorous red suit that he wore. No, he was picked 13th to go to the Toronto Raptors. It sucks because Fred VanVleet is not going to be there anymore, but that could have been a fun duo. VanVleet and Grady Dick could have been a fun duo. But Grady Dick goes to Toronto. Toronto's had a little bit of success in recent years. See if they can get that going again with a guy like Grady. And then let's see if any other notable first rounders. Jaime Jaquez out of UCLA goes 18th. Kobe Brown from Missouri. So give a shout out to the local guy here in Kansas City. So Kobe Brown from Missouri goes 30th overall, last pick of the first round to the Los Angeles Clippers. I feel bad for the Twins getting picked to the two worst NBA teams. Yeah, Amin Thompson to the Houston Rockets at number 4, and Ausar Thompson to the Detroit Pistons at number 5. How cool was that? Just to have not just brothers, but twin brothers picked back to back in the NBA draft. That's pretty cool. I like that a lot. What about all the trades after drafting a player? Yeah, that happens a lot in the NBA draft. It's so weird because it's all conditional. They have to have it all approved and whatnot. But that happens a lot more in the NBA, I think, than anywhere else. And it's usually after the fact, which never really made sense to me. You would think that people would try to make that trade and draft the guy they want. But my assumption is a lot of those conversations are already being had. And then they're going to say, hey, go draft so-and-so because that's who I'm going to trade you for. But I think that happens a lot. I haven't really dove into all the trades. I did see Chris Paul got traded to the Golden State Warriors after being traded to the Wizards. But I think he pretty well said, like, no, I'm not playing for Washington. So the 39-year-old will go to Golden State to help them potentially, try to go for another championship. The Suns picked up. I don't remember who they picked up in that trade. I also saw Marcus Smart is headed away from Boston. It felt like Boston got a lot for Marcus Smart. Kristaps Porzingis, one of those guys. He was supposed to be the unicorn. The unicorn that now is Victor Wembanyama, right? He's now the unicorn, but Kristaps Porzingis was supposed to be that guy a couple years back. Anything else on the NBA draft? I don't get into the draft that much. I watched a lot of the Bounce last night to support those guys, and I've learned a lot from the Bounce and Kevin James just over the past 4 months that we've been doing this thing at Bite Size Sports. Just listening to them talk about the NBA, and that helps me kind of understand it a little bit more. And I was more excited. I definitely watched more playoffs this year than I ever had. A lot of that has to do with sports betting, so that helps, right? Give me something to bet on. Give me something to watch. That's helpful. But once it came down to the finals, I didn't really get into the finals too much because it was just, the Nuggets were absolutely dominant. So it wasn't really a fun final series to watch. So I didn't get into it too much. But overall, I've definitely gotten into the NBA a little bit more than I had in the past. And I got to thank the guys at the Bounce for that. So seriously, go back and check that out from last night. They did a great job. If you have not started following us on Instagram, go over and hit us up at @bite_size sports, or you can scan the QR code there as I pour some more coffee. Our Twitter and Instagram we're really starting to try to talk them up a lot more. We've done a really good job of getting any of our shorts, so our YouTube shorts. So if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, you'll see a lot of YouTube shorts come through. Recently, it's been a lot about the NBA trades and those kind of things. But those shorts, we always try to throw up on our Instagram page as well on the Reels. And we also hit up a lot of live events across the country. We've got guys from California to Illinois, Indiana. I think Kev's in Ohio. So, I mean, we've got guys all over the place, and we just try to hit up some live events, and we'll try to throw those up on the reels as well. Nate does a lot of racing stuff over there and takes a lot of videos from that. We had some college baseball playoffs go on. I was at the NFL draft, so I'm sure we'll do some more, especially come NFL season. So just make sure you're following us over there on Instagram and kind of see some of those reels, or hit us up on the YouTube channel and check out our shorts over there as well. All right, let's talk a little golf. Had a little fun with golf. Obviously last week was the U.S. Open, and my boy Rory just falls short. But Wyndham Clark, 29-year-old, getting a breakthrough win with the U.S. Open, his second win on tour. His first win was just a couple months ago. So congratulations to Wyndham Clark for sure. They all come right back out this week for the Travelers. And we saw a couple of good shots yesterday. I want to pull them up here. Starting with my man, Rory McIlroy, getting himself a hole-in-one. I believe I saw them say it was his first career hole-in-one. Let's take a watch.
Look at the people out there.
Yep. Oof. They always show out for this event. They really do. It's a real community event.
Oh, do it, Rory. Do
baby.
It. Hey!
What a shot.
Well, that's one way to solve the putting woes. Take
What
the
a
putter
shot.
out of the equation.
I mean,
An
just
ace for Rory McIlroy on the 8th hole from
it was
218
dead on
yards.
beginning. Dead on. I mean, it was. You can see it. You see the red line. Just straight
Look
on.
at the
There's
people
no
out there.
Yep.
try
They
to
always
fade
show out
this
for this
in,
event.
draw
They
it in,
really
just
do. It's a
hit
real
it straight
community
at the
event.
hole and right into it.
Oh, do it, Rory. Do it. Hey!
That was pretty awesome. Love to see a little smile on Rory's face. Obviously, the Travelers isn't going very well for him. You could see it on the screen. He was at +1 at that point, only through 7 holes. So Travelers isn't going great. He is struggling a little bit, especially after a great weekend last weekend. Hopefully, he can turn it around. But one guy who's not struggling with the putter and not struggling overall is Keegan Bradley. This is a 71-foot putt, y'all. 74, I'm sorry. A 74-foot putt. You can't even see the hole. And you can see how far away the other guys are standing who are close to the hole. This thing is just epic.
Yeah, last 20 feet are where it gets kind of fast. So he's going over a rise here, and now it starts going downhill.
I mean, he just puts it.
Settle in the middle.
Puts it right in. You see this exactly
theft.
what the announcers are talking about
Yeah, last 20
when he says
feet
over
are where
this
it gets
ridge.
kind of fast.
You can
So
see
he's
this
going
ball
over
just
a
really
rise
start to
here,
take off.
and now it
But when
starts
you
going
hit the pin,
downhill.
there's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. What an absolute stunning putt by Keegan Bradley. He's having a great tournament right now. But 74 feet, y'all. Like that is so far for a putt. Pretty amazing. I put it in the show. Like I don't think I've ever seen a putt that far made. Right? Do you guys remember any putt out there that you remember that was that far? Now I get it, it's the first round. You're kind of still getting your feet well, so there's not like a lot of drama behind the putt, right? It's not like it's the 16th hole on the final round. You're trying to make a push, but still 74 feet is phenomenal. Do you guys remember any other putts that have been super long like that? Like I was trying to rack my brain. I could not think of any other putt I've ever seen go in from 74 feet. I know for damn sure I've never hit a putt 74 feet to go in. Good morning, Kev. You missed. I was shouting you guys out earlier. I told everybody they need to go check out the bounce, man. Last night's show was awesome. You guys did a great job. Love the reactions. Love the predictions. The analytics around some things. It was just a really great show overall. Really, really good show overall. Unnecessary roughness this week. John took the week off. Nick was there. They talked a lot about New York sports. He had a guest on that was a New York fan. That was pretty fun. I think they did a pretty good job. They didn't really get into hard-hitting NFL analysis, but it was good to mix it up a little bit. Have a little bit of a different style of show. So I liked that quite a bit for Necessary Roughness this week. Man, that show's going to really take off here before too long. When the NFL season gets here, that show is really going to take off. I saw Matt Westhoff hit a 15-footer one time. Yeah, he probably inflated it a little bit. It was probably more like an 8-footer. He just called it 15-foot. When I play with Matt, it's if I get it even close to the hole, I'm like, hey, dude, I'm good, right? That looks like a club length. Don't measure it, but it looks like a club length. I got to get out and get some golf in. We were at Shields the other day. So for those of you who don't live in the Midwest, Shields is just a big sporting goods store. And we're walking around and we're headed over to the baseball section so we can look at a couple things for our 8-year-old. And it goes right by the golf section. And Oliver's like, why don't you play golf anymore? And I'm straight up like, dude, I have 3 kids and a wife now, man. Like, when the hell am I supposed to play golf? How does that work? If you're a golfer out there and you can figure that out, let me know, because it hasn't worked for me yet this year. But I got to get out. I got the big Labor Day weekend tournament coming up in a couple months, so I got to get out a couple more times here. And maybe Drew, with you coming back into town, maybe we could hit the course a little bit. We can meet halfway, go to DeSoto or something, and hit up the golf course a couple more times. Kev says I can hit a 10-footer in disc golf. Disc golf, something I've literally never played before, man. Never. I've never done it. I see these guys. We go to a park. I see these guys carrying like 8 discs. What do you need all those for? What do you need 8 discs for? I mean, I get it. You got your driver and your putter, and I guess what you would call a chipper, like something in between. But what do you need 8 of them for? Does one of them curve a little bit more than the other? Is it just a weight thing? Like, I legitimately don't know. I've never played the game before. It started to get really popular back in Emporia when I was finishing up at Emporia State. So popular that I'm pretty sure it was my senior year. The city of Emporia hosted the national championship for disc golf. So that was something going on. Look, Kev's an 8 disc guy. Kev, maybe it's a late night bites thing or something. We got to talk about disc golf. I just want to know more about it. Now that I'm going to go out and play. I'm probably not going to go out and play. I need my golf cart. I need my cooler of beer, to play golf. I don't think you can do that with disc golf. At least I've never seen anybody driving a golf cart in the park with a 6-pack of beer playing disc golf before, right? So I'm not sure if that's legal or not. My whole bag cost us about the same as one round on a Sunday. Man, that's crazy. Oh, Kev drinks beer playing. Okay, maybe I'm in on disc golf then. Kev says I drink plenty of beer playing disc golf. Maybe I'm in on disc golf. Can I use a golf cart? That's my real question. Never seen a cart. Let me use a golf cart, and then maybe we can really have a good discussion around this thing. Okay, but honestly, I did ask about the 8 discs, so I really want to know this. Multiple putters are needed for practice, but other than that, they're just different speeds and different weights. Okay. All right. We've learned something new today, guys, on Biting Early. It is a sports show. I think they call disc golf a sport. I think they call it a sport these days. what's more 21st century? What's more what is the the lazy generation, right? What's more Gen Z of a sport? Pickleball or disc golf? Pickleball or disc golf? Which one takes less effort? They both seem like nice leisurely sports. And maybe I'm like really pew-pewing on one of these sports. I've played pickleball. I know how much I don't try in pickleball. So which one is like the more leisure sport? See, I'll use the word leisure. That's a nice way to put it, right? Which one's the more leisure sport? Pickleball. Which one's the more fancy? Right? You got all these old folks playing pickleball these days. They've taken up the park's tennis courts. Drew says pickleball you can play indoors, right? Here in Kansas City, we've got 2 big named pickleball places, which are actually a lot of fun. Hashtag not a sponsor, but Chicken and Pickle. They got 2 locations in the Kansas City area, and then another place called Serve. But if wherever you live, if you've never been to a pickleball, I don't even know. It's like it's not the bar and grill anymore. It's like the bar and pickleball, but it's just these massive, massive campuses with, you can eat, you can drink, and they got 10 to 14 courts of pickleball. It's actually pretty cool. Been to a couple of times. It's a lot of fun. Pickleball is a lot of fun. I'm just not going to try very hard when I play, right? And I'm going to go sit, grab myself a drink, watch you guys play, and make fun of you as you try to play this easy game, but it's difficult to get a handle on it. So, but no, I pickleball is fun, and I love that you can play it indoors. Disc golf, I've never got into. Maybe we'll have a bite-sized outing to play a little pickleball. One more time though, driver, mid-range putters, then different speeds, kind of like golf clubs, but each disc is a club. Okay, so you are kind of using it very similar to my, 7-iron versus my 3-iron, those kind of things. So I just kind of assumed all the holes were like the same length. Like this hole, you just have to go around the tree, but that hole, is a straight shot. There's no trees. I say that, and then I see some of these ridiculous disc golf shots on the interwebs that's like curves around all the trees and then like lands right beside them. I'm like, holy cow. Also, last thing, we got a PlayStation. I got a PlayStation Move like, I don't know, 6-7 years ago. And one of my favorite games to play on there is disc golf. Is a disc golf game. So I love playing it on that. Just never played it in real life. See, now that's the kind of interaction I need from you all with the chat, because there's no fucking sports on TV right now, guys. What am I supposed to talk about? We talk about disc golf. We talk about disc golf. And we talk about regular golf. But let's talk about College World Series, because I do want to get into this a little bit. This is probably where I'll spend the most time today. And, of course, if you guys have any other topics you want me to touch on, I will absolutely do that. But let's go to the College World Series. It's been a phenomenal week for the College World Series, in my opinion. Really thrilling games. Really great competitive games. For me, after the U.S. Open was over, it was like all College World Series, and it has really single-handedly saved me for this week. I'm bummed because after potentially Sunday, maybe Monday, College World Series will be over, and we will literally be left with nothing except for the MLB, which is boring. But the college baseball is not boring. Going back all the way to back to the last Friday, day one of the College World Series, I sat right here in this same seat that morning, getting you ready for the action, telling you Florida and Virginia were going to play, and Oral Roberts and TCU, and they all came out, and this thing started out with a bang. Florida First game of the College World Series, down to bottom of the ninth. Puts up 3 to walk it off against Virginia. Later that night, Oral Roberts down 3, headed to the top of the ninth, comes out, puts up 4 runs, shuts down TCU in the bottom of the ninth, win by 1 run. And then the third game, the very next day in the afternoon, Saturday, Wake Forest, down 1 in the bottom of the 8th inning, scores 2 over Florida State, shuts them down in the 9th inning to win. 3 straight games to start the College World Series. The team down at least 1 run going into the 8th inning and comes back and wins it. Just 3 great comeback wins, and that's really where the World Series got kicked off and got started. 6 of the first 7 games were all 1-run games, which is, I mean, in baseball, especially at this level, well, I mean, every level, but especially at this level, guys, one swing of the bat, if it's a 1-run game, ties that thing, potentially, takes the lead depending on if there's runners on base. So, and that happens more often in the college game. So you have to, like these games, 1-run games might sound whatever, it's just one, but those are intense, and the crowds are getting into it. It's a really cool atmosphere in Omaha. One of the things I regret the most about when I lived in Omaha was not actually going down to one of these games. But yeah, the entertainment doesn't stop with the first 7 games. Last night, if you didn't watch last night's game, if you were tuned into the NBA draft instead, you missed a banger. Wake Forest, LSU, winner goes to the championship series, and this thing was mayhem. It was awesome. Phenomenal defense. The pitching was just shut down pitching all game long. Starting pitcher dominant. Wake Forest actually scratched their original starter right before the game. Next guy up mentality comes in. I think he shut down 7 innings of scoreless innings. It was awesome. In the 8th inning, Wake Forest had a chance to take the lead. 3rd strike, wild pitch, guy on second advances to third. The batter advances to first base. You've got runners on the corner. You've got 1 out. It's their best chance to go score. Wake Forest goes for the safety squeeze. Batter puts down really a great bunt. You can't really fault the batter. Like, this was a great bunt, but it wasn't just good enough. Let's check out this phenomenal, athletic, defensive gym. The bunt's already laid down. The ball's up here if you can't see it. The ball is up here. I mean, this kid knew exactly what he had to do. He doesn't have time to throw it normal. He doesn't have time to do anything except exactly what he does. I mean, he just kind of shot puts it over there. Catcher's in great position. Great slide. Look at this slide. I mean, he does everything he can to get in there. It was just a hell of a baseball play. And this first baseman, man, he is pumped up, fist pumping, pounding the grass afterwards. You can see that thing in this shot here. Oh, no, you can't. Oh, man, he's going crazy, though. Just a really phenomenal play. And so last night we've got baseball practice. And so I'm just getting home, and I check the score on my phone. I see it's 0-0, top of the 8th. I'm like, okay, sweet. Get settled in, get it turned on, and I'm like, I'm not kidding you. This was the first play that I saw. They were just finishing getting the first base, the guy that got to first base, and I turned it on, and I see this, and I was just like, holy cow. I was hooked. It was awesome. It was great timing. My wife really didn't care, but I was like, look at the timing of this thing. It was perfect. But it was. I mean, to see that live, I was just in shock and wow. Because that's the play of the game. Like, if he doesn't make that play, Wake Forest goes up 1 run. And as we know now, TCU doesn't score in the 8th or the 9th inning. Does that change a little bit? Does mindset change if they're down one? Potentially, right? But, man, what an absolute great play to help LSU continue down the game in a tie 0-0 game. Yeah, late June, early July, Drew. We're trying to wait for these this NFL. Kev says it's like that Jeter flip back in the day against the A's. Yeah, that's a really, really good comparison. That's a really good comparison. Because that was at home as well. Wasn't it? Oh, yeah, here it is. I pulled it up, found it. That didn't take long to find at all. You're talking about this one, right?
That is fair down the right field line.
Man, that's
Giambi on
great.
his way to third, and they're going to wave him around. The throw misses a cutoff man.
Oh, yeah. That is such a great comparison, Kev. I didn't even think about this one.
Unbelievable plays you will ever see by a shortstop.
But he knows what he has to do. He's not even supposed to. That's not even his play. That's not his play to make it all.
With his bare hand, a shovel to
Wow.
Posada, and Giambi is
What a
out.
play.
What an unbelievable play by Jeter.
Great throwback, Kev. Thank you for that. Great throwback. Yeah, it is all instincts. Like it is. Y'all, what just happened? How are you all still here? Am I actually still live? Man, I appreciate you all for sticking around for that. I know there was a couple of you watching before I left, and there's still a couple of you watching now. I appreciate that. Did you see the flicker of the lights? I had a power surge or something just happened. And what in the hell just happened? Apparently, we went back too far in time with the Derek Jeter clip from 2001. That it was back before the internet days, and the internet decided it was a full-on power surge. I have no idea what just happened. That's the beauty of live streaming, right? You have no chance to stop something like that from happening. Holy cow. Well, I appreciate you. We're still here. Let's get back into this LSU game here because there's still more to it. Yes, the flip was phenomenal. Absolutely great defensive play. After that happens, Wake Forest gets out of it, or LSU gets out of it. You get a couple more 1, 2, 3 innings, just shut down pitching. And then in the bottom of the 11th, the Wake Forest coaching staff decides they're going to pull Massey who had just pitched 2 2/3 innings of really phenomenal baseball. They were whiffing. He had his slider going, his fastball going, a lot of swings and misses, but he gives up a leadoff hit in the bottom of the 11th to Cruz, who they were saying on the broadcast last night is probably going to be the number 1 overall pick in the MLB draft. But Massey's dealing. He gives up the leadoff hit, so they bring in their closer, who's been great all season as well. And last night, Tommy White was just a little better, and you better believe I'm going to show you this. First pitch. Pitch is 0. There's no count. He just comes in. First pitch.
And he hung one. Did he get it? Did he get it? Yes, he did. Tommy Tanks walks it off.
Blouses.
And the LSU Tigers will face the Gators in the finals.
Absolute blouses. It was a great game. You're right, John.
And he hung one. Did he get it?
It was easy. It was a no-doubter.
Yes, he did. Tommy Tanks walks it off.
And
the LSU Tigers will face the Gators in the finals.
You feel bad for the pitcher. Afterwards, actually, I did see Tommy White go over and give this guy a hug, which was really cool. You don't see that a lot these days, especially in the mayhem of celebration. He had kind of taken a step away, gave him a hug, said some words, and got right back into it, right? So that was really cool to watch too. But the dude, I mean, he just smashed that thing. First pitch swinging. LSU takes it they had to beat Wake Forest twice, right? So now we get LSU Florida best of 3 series starting tomorrow. Saturday, Sunday with a, if necessary, game 3 Monday night for the championship. Florida, they're in the good position right now. They've been able to rest. They didn't play yesterday. They don't play today. They've got their pitchers all ready to go. LSU coming off an 11-inning game. So I think Florida's kind of got the upper hand right now. But look, my guy Dan on ADP on Wednesday, we were kind of talking about different things happening in the sports world. And he just throws out, he's like, dude, I got LSU. And I didn't really go in depth because in my mind, I'm like, they got to beat Wake Forest twice. What? It kind of threw me off a little bit because he was just so nonchalant, I got LSU to win that thing, by the way. Oh, wait a minute. What? They got to beat Wake Forest twice, the number 1 team in the nation. And LSU took care of business, man. And I like this offense. Yes, obviously it's a 2-0 game, but the LSU offense is really dangerous. A lot of guys, I think their first 7 hitters are power, have some power to them. So I think LSU takes this thing down. I'm going to go with my main man, Dan, and ride his back and say LSU beats Florida. But one more thing here with LSU, they're winning more than just on the field. Have you guys seen this thing? Have you seen this shot challenge? Rocco's in Omaha. I've never been there. I should have gone, I guess. 27,000 Jello shots. So they obviously what Rocco's is doing is they're literally counting. If you're a fan of one of the baseball teams and you come into Rocco's, a $5 Jello shot, and they're counting these. And LSU has almost 30,000. I bet they have 30,000 after last night. I guarantee they have over 30,000 after last night's walk-off victory, right? These fans went and celebrated last night. I mean, Virginia, what are you doing? 756? Wake Forest tried to hang with them. They couldn't even get to 7,500. Almost 30,000 Jello shots. Isn't that ridiculous? I mean, LSU is single-handedly keeping this business open. $5. That's over $135,000 worth of Jello shots. That's freaking awesome, man. That is freaking awesome. These boys came up from the South and said, let's go. Let's go. Omaha is a really fun time around the College World Series. I mean, it really is. But to be putting 30,000 Jello shots away. Let's see if let me see if they have an update. Let's see if they updated it last night. If you want to find this, it's at CWS Shot Board. It's just College World Series Jello Shot Board. 9 hours ago. Oh, here we go. They do have an update. Well, that changes things. If you leave Baton Rouge right now, you can probably make for the 1 p.m. update tomorrow. Gators baseball LSU should be fantastic. Final. Let's go. Here it is. You see here, they're at, let's see if I can zoom in. Oh, let me zoom in. Oh, there it is. 29,023 Jello shots. Guys, I want to drive to Omaha just to get in on this action. I have a purple K-State shirt. Maybe I just put it inside out and say, this is an LSU shirt. That's awesome, man. That's so fun. What a way to welcome in the College World Series fans. I always frequented a bar and grill down there. I'd get a lot of lunch on a Saturday afternoon and watch a little college football or whatnot. And it was right down. It was maybe like a three-quarters of a mile from the stadium. And they would hang all the flags every year from the 8 teams. It was just a really cool atmosphere. And they were up all year long. And so people would come in like, why are these flags up? It's like, oh, those are the flags from all the past years. And they just move them every year. And they keep them up. They don't go anywhere. Like that town really lives for the College World Series and revolves around the College World Series. So great atmosphere. Awesome city. If you've never been to Omaha, you got to go check it out. It's a really cool place to be. So what do you think? Any hot topics you guys want me to hit on before I get out of here? I'm kind of shook from the lightning strike. It's not even storming here. But man, that was so weird. And it was flickering before. I got to go back and maybe I'll try to cut that. make it a part of my video for the intro, right? Just flickering lights behind me. What a day. What a morning. I almost wanted to do a underdog draft. I thought about doing one this morning because the Chihuahua is going to fill before tonight. And don't want to do that. Here we go. The Chihuahua is going to fill before tonight because it's already at like 80%. Share that. So this is what I've been hammering right now. It's $4. Only 80%. It's already at 88%. So there's no way that it stays until tonight. So I'm definitely going to rip a draft this morning. I won't do it on stream with you guys, but I got to get my last couple in here for that. So far, I am 24 drafts deep. Check out my exposures here. What do you think about this, Keandre Miller? Keandre Miller, 10 shares out of 24. I need to slow down on Keandre Miller. I just draft so many anchor running back or zero running back teams that these guys being drafted later in the 140s and 130s, 140s, like I hammer them a lot. Chase Brown, Isaiah Pacheco. I like Isaiah Pacheco. I've drafted him as my number 1 in multiple drafts and 0 RBs. So, and then this is my George Kittle. And I know George Kittle compared to these other guys isn't a lot, but if you put George Kittle compared to other tight ends, I've got him 7 times. My next best is Kelsey at 4 because I'm taking Kelsey anytime I can get him in the 6 or 7 spot. Probably Kelsey and Eckler are probably my 2 most drafted out of the first round because I'm getting to the 6 to 8 spot a lot. I've actually got a lot of back end drafts, and those I kind of mix and match quite a bit. But I'm sitting in there at the 6. I'm not quite taking Garrett Wilson that high. I just can't do it. And so I just take a lot of Eckler and Kelsey. But I've only had, I think, one number 1. Yep, I've only had one 101. So I've only taken Jefferson once. I think I've only had the number 2 spot once. Oh, yeah, 3 times. Okay. 3 times. So that's not bad. I may have taken Jamar Chase a little later. It says 2.1. So I may have taken him a little later. But yeah. So I had 3 Jamar Chase teams. That's pretty nice. But anyways, I will continue to be drafting best ball on Rumbles of Red. We probably won't do it tonight. I just can't get into right now anyways drafting $25 best ball teams. I will definitely be drafting plenty of $25 best ball teams or best ball mania teams. But it's still June. Last year, I didn't even start diving into best ball until late June. My first draft was on June 30th last year, and then I really hammered them in July and August. I'll probably do the same thing with Best Ball Mania this year. I've really just been dabbling in these like smaller $5, $4, $7 tournaments just to kind of almost like practice, right? It's kind of weird to say that after I've spent too much money already to practice, but it's almost like a practice for me with these drafts right now. And then once I kind of get a little bit better of a feel for how the teams are going to lay out, the thing about Best Ball Mania, like you can start drafting in May, and if you're not drafting from May all the way to August, then if you're just sprinkling them in here and there, I don't really think you're going to have great positive EV. You have to really draft all summer long if you're planning to max it at 150. I'm not going to plan to max it at 150. I got 3 kids I got to send to college one day. Like I can't afford to max a 150 at $25. But I'll still probably try to get, I think I got 8 in last year. I'll probably try to go 8 again this year. So if I'm going to put 8 in, I'm not going to do 4 in May and 4 in August. Like I'll probably just try to do all 8 in late July into August. So we will definitely do some Best Ball Mania drafts on the Rumbles of Red. But right now, like I said, I'm just trying to hit these smaller ones. And since the Chihuahua won't be there tonight, I'll hit that draft this morning and we won't have the Rumbles of Red tonight. Kev says, any thoughts on Slam Ball coming back? I'll be sure to check in regularly on the late night show. Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to seeing a little Slam Ball, man. It's like it takes you back to the memories of for me, I think it was childhood, maybe like high school age. But it was so fun to watch, right? It was awesome. Like it was just the highlights and the big hits and the in your face slams. Like it was just a lot of fun. And so, yeah, I'm excited for that. Love to see you're going to be pulled. I'm ready for like some videos and some clips there on Late Night Bites. So excited to see that happening for sure. All right. That's going to do it for us today. Thank you all for joining me this morning. Thanks for, hanging in there from a little 2-minute internet, or not even internet, electrical surge. I'm kind of curious what it looked like on your guys' end during that 2 minutes. Was it like just my face, or was it just the background? Like maybe that's what it was. I don't know, but I'll have to go back and check out the show myself to see how that goes. If you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe to the Bite Size YouTube channel. You can check out my season-long show. Dan and I went over dynasty quarterbacks, our top 15. We kind of tiered them out, talk through each tier. Go check that out from this past Wednesday. Support us there, and obviously get ready for your fantasy drafts, or if you got a dynasty startup draft coming up, or if you're just looking for some dynasty trades and trying to think about what quarterbacks to attack right now, Go check that show out. It was a really good show. You can also find us on Apple or Spotify if you want to just listen to the audio feed while you mow the lawn or something, which is what I'm about to go do this morning. Check out the Rumbles Are Red. I talked about that. We're doing a Summer of Best Ball series on Friday nights. No show tonight. Maybe next week. It is a holiday weekend, but if Underdog drops another cheaper tournament, I'll definitely go live. I don't have any plans next Friday night, so let's make that happen. Follow me on Facebook at the Rumbles Are Red and on Twitter at TrevorS_FF. Little bit of both. Well worth it. Great show. Thank you. Great show. Thanks, Lee. Thanks, Kev. Appreciate you all for being here. Thank you for listening, and I hope that you have a sports-filled day.